Sacred Heart High School, Nalasipara West. Subject English, Standard 3rd, Unit 1, Chapter 5, The Story of Sindabad the Sailor. Hello students, today we are going to study the lesson about Sindabad. So let's begin with the adventure of Sindabad. The story of Sindabad and his 7 fantastic voyages appears in the huge collection of stories, the Book of 1001 Nights or the Arabian Nights. Students, you must be thinking, what are Arabian Nights story? These are the stories also known as the 1001 Night, a collection of Arabic stories from 10th century, including Aladdin, Ali Baba, and of course Sindabad. Yes, students, today I am going to tell you the story of Sindabad the sailor. Listen carefully. Sindabad was a famous sailor who lived in Baghdad. He was honest, generous, and brave. He had many adventures on each of his voyages. Students, voyages means a long journey by sea. He never lost heart and hope in dangerous situations. He always overcame great danger and returned home safely from each of his voyages. Here's the story of his first voyage. One day, Sindabad set sail with a company of merchants on a big ship. Time to time, they halted at various ports. At various ports, they sold their merchandise and bought new things to trade. Merchandise means goods or things for sale. Trade means to sell. One day, when their ship was sailing smoothly, they spotted a small island at a distance. Island means a land surrounded by water from all sides. They had not seen land for many days and felt happy. They sailed very close to the island. The captain of the ship told them to go to the island for a picnic and can enjoy. Everyone on the ship was excited. Excited means very happy. Now students, when you are excited, how do you feel? Yes, you feel happy. And how you express your happiness? Yeah, singing and dancing. Same way, when the people saw the island, they felt happy. They strolled around, sang and danced. Stroll means walked here and there. Some of them began to wash clothes. Some lit fires to cook meals. Soon a breeze sprang up. The wind was blowing suddenly, and the fires began to blaze. Blaze means burn strongly. Suddenly the land began to shake and move. Everyone was in shock. The picnic party realized that the island was not an island at all. They came to know that they were on the back of a huge sea monster, and it had started moving. Students, sea monster means a big mammal fish like whale. People began to scream. They left their pots and pans. They clothed, washed and unwashed, and rushed back to the ship. The captain ordered his men to set sail immediately and move away from the monster. The sea monster plunged deep into the sea. That means it jumped or dived quickly and energetically. Many of them managed to climb to catch the ship, but many sank into the sea. Sindabad and many of them drowned in the sea. He managed to move towards the ship, but could not reach the ship. He saw the ship was sailing far away. He was now at the mercy of waves. He got a piece of wood and somehow managed to keep floating. Sindabad spent the night alone at sea. The next day morning, Sindabad was happy to see that he had floated near an island, and that was real. He saw hills and woods and trees at a distance. Though he was tired, he swam to the shore with all strength that he could use at that time. Exhausted and hungry, he lay on the sand for some time. Again he made an effort and began to walk inland. There he saw the shady fruit trees. Now inland means towards an area of land away from the seashore. When he was walking luckily, the king's groom saw him and gave him food to eat and water to drink. Grooms means a person who take care of horses. Then they took him to the king. Sindabad told king about what had happened with him. Hearing his story, the king was impressed. He asked Sindabad to stay with him and work as an officer at his port. Sindabad stayed there for a few days, learning a lot from the king and the people on the island. Every day Sindabad made inquiries about any of the ships coming from or going to Baghdad, but he couldn't get any information about it. Then one day, a ship arrived at the island with a lot of merchandise. That time Sindabad was at the port. He saw the cargo ship was being unloaded. Now cargo means goods carried on a ship. He was surprised to see that his own name was marked on some boxes. Sindabad went to see the captain of the ship. When the captain saw Sindabad, he could not believe that he was the same Sindabad that they had seen him drowning. But when Sindabad spoke to him, he recognized him. He was very happy to see Sindabad alive. He gave him back all his merchandise. Sindabad presented his most valuable items to the king of the island. He said to the king to accept it because the king was very kind and generous with him. The king was too pleased with Sindabad and gave him valuable gifts. Sindabad left the island with the merchant ship happily. Students, if you want to know what had happened to Sindabad afterwards, you have to read the storybook of his voyages. So students, hope you all like the story of Sindabad. Thank you.